1890s.
Yeah.
You have different migration of Bantu people. Some were coming from the north, some from the northeast, like Tanzania.
Yeah.
And then these would build what we call different kingdoms.
Okay.
You know, in those days it was hunting communities, warrior communities, and they'll build different kingdoms. So like we've got the Roji kingdom down here, there, and then you've got some kingdoms settling down here, there, and then up there. And then towards the 1800s, you also have now Shaka the Zulu. This is South Africa down here.
Oh, okay.
Shaka the Zulu in Zululand in Natal.
Yeah.
And we have one of his leaders, warriors, Mzilikazi. So he's running away from Shaka like it was like a coup, like they're trying to rebel.
Yeah.
So he rebels and he comes, crosses through into Matabeleland. The reason why this is called Matabeleland, it was never called Matabeleland. Yeah. But this is Mzilikazi coming to this pre-Zimbabwe. Before that, it was not Zimbabwe. We just call it Guru Uswa. Guru Uswa means a land with tall grass. So because there were different kingdoms, Mzilikazi comes, he defeats whoever was also residing this. And then as he defeated whoever was residing, he calls it Matabeleland. In other words, this is the land of the Ndebele people, because he started his own kingdom from Shaka the Zulu, and then he says Ndebele. So they created their own language, which is a mixture of Zulu and what he created, his initiative, and then he put that together, fusing Zulu from whatever dialectual modifications he did. Then he said, this is now Ndebele. So this whole area now is Matabeleland, which is Ndebele. And then as we continue, we will have raids between the Ndebele people trying to fight these other Bantu people who had migrated from Tanzania and from within here. So there were always wars within this. The Ndebele raiding these and they raiding each other. Then we fast track, we come around the 1890. In South Africa, we had what is called the British South African Pioneer Column, which was being led by Cecil John Rhodes. He was already a mayor somewhere there, and they were hunting for gold, and they had missionaries, because their strategy was they will work with missionaries, use missionaries, the missionaries will preach the word of God, and say, no, we are coming to bless you, there's no joy, don't put your trust in God, there's heaven. But meanwhile, then they colonize. So they sent their team here. So when they came, the Ndebele king then was Ndebele King Lobengula. So they said to him, no, we are coming in peace. All we want is to hunt. And we want to work for you to be your subjects. Because the Ndebele were very good in fighting by then. And by then the missionaries didn't have very sophisticated, and they were few in number, remember. Even though they had those old guns, where you put powder, boom. But they knew if we come confrontation, we will not win. So they used that trickery to say, we want to be your subjects. And then we will hand, whatever we hand, we come and pay tribute. And that's what kings wanted those days. So Lobengula agrees. And then, so he signs now. Put his finger to say, right, I have given these guys, the name of the guy is called John Moffat. So he says, I have given John Moffat the permission to go right around the whole land and mine and hunt and whatever, and then they bring tribute to me, so it's theirs. So when they got that thing, Moffat and guys, they went back to South Africa. Then they now rebuild and had to recruit as many what do you call them, mercenaries as possible, so that they can come and wage a war. So that's what they did. Then they came, the war started, and then they defeated Lobengula. And when they defeated Lobengula, that's when Zimbabwe was colonized. That was in 1890. But it was here. So they had not yet moved inland, because these were the Mashona people. Now the Mashona people were still resisting, because when Mashona people understood what was happening, they came together as one party, united, and they were resisting. So what then happened, the pioneers continued to rebuild, getting more reinforcements to go inland, and that's what they did until eventually in Harare there, then they raised up their flag, and then that concluded the colonization.
So small there.
This is Harare.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a city and also a province. So this is Harare. So by then they called it Salisbury. I'm sure if you walk in here, you actually find Salisbury. So that became the capital from 1890.
Wow.
So to cut the long story short, the next 5 years, 1890, 95, 96, we now have this. This is what we call the first Chimurenga War.
Okay.
This is Kagui and Buyanehanda. This is a male and a female high prophets in the African religion, or if you want, you can call them spirit mediums. So they led the revolt against colonialism, and then finally they were captured, sentenced to death. But before she died, she said, "My bones are going to rise again."
What's her name, please?
This one, she's called Buyanehanda.
Okay. All right.
So when this happened,
And that's
then,
Shekuro, right?
yeah.
Wow.
So when that happened, we now come to the 1960s. In the 1960s, this guy, Dr. Joshua Ngomo, was working in South Africa. By then, political activism had started way back in the 1940s in South Africa.
Okay.
And because he was working in South Africa, he got this training in political activism. So he came back home, founded what they call the National Democratic Party, and later they founded ZAPU, which is this one, Zimbabwe African People's Union, and Robert Mugabe founded ZANU, Zimbabwe African National Union.
Okay.
So these two became the founding fathers then. Then they joined arms. These ones, they were training in Zambia, supported by Russia. These ones were training in Mozambique, supported by China.
Wow.
So the war was done up until the 18th of April 1980.
Okay.
But 1979, that's when we came here for the Lancaster Conference, where it was a ceasefire. Okay?
Yeah.
So in 1979, Lancaster Conference, it's a ceasefire, and they came here, and key agreements were when Zimbabwe gets independence, Britain would compensate. In other words, they would pay money for the redistribution of land. That is what was agreed. And then for the first 10 years or so, Zimbabwe was not supposed to do anything in terms of reclaiming land. So what then happened when that expired come the 1990s, Zimbabwe now starts to say, no, that time period has come. Can we now then regain the land? That's when the challenge took place, and then Britain says, no, you cannot. So to cut the long story short, that's when the dispute of the land came in. And if you remember very well, by then, America had problems with Iraq. George Bush had gone to the United Nations to get permission to invade Iraq, and he did not win. He found support from Tony Blair, who said, I'll support you without the United Nations.
Wow.
And in exchange, this is what you say, common issues. I support you, you support me. So Blair also says, you, America, support me because I've got a problem with Zimbabwe.
So how many tribes are there in Zimbabwe?
A blend of tribes.
Many?
Many, I can't count.
Wow.
So basically, this is it. So this is the new...
Okay. Nice to meet you anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah.